Hey guys, listen, welcome into the building. I'm having like it is storming over here where I live. I seen some people, Lisa, you put in there that your power just came back on. So we're dealing with a lot of rain, a lot of flooding, a lot of storms. Hopefully the connection stays because I feel like this is gonna be a really good conversation. So I hope that everybody is still, gonna be able to stay in the building, and I hope y'all can hear me. Robin is about to join me, but we was having a delay as we was talking. So I really hope that everybody has a lot of rain. Okay, yes, the rain is coming down fast and furious right now. But you know what? I'm actually glad it's rain versus snow. I don't mind the snow, but what I don't like about snow is I like when it first falls. It's so pretty, but then when it's like gets mushy and dirty and icy and freezes up, I hate it. Okay. It's it's about the snow. Oh my God. I can't deal. I can't deal. Oh, Mel, thank you so much. I've been working hard trying to hit 20K before the end of the year. I mean, it's still time. We'll see. Oh, you can hear me very good. Thank you, thank you. And Robin, you didn't change your name from the law case the other day. From the
That's
court
because I'm
the
standing 10 toes down.
other day. So listen, guys, I decided to pretty much
And I
have
think we're
this.
going to be delay.
Oh, I'm delayed for you. All right. So listen, guys, I decided to have this conversation as a result of unfortunately what happened to Twitch. Okay. The former dancer slash DJ, even though Ellen joked around saying like he's a fake DJ, but she loves him from the Ellen show, and he did many other things after that. So Renee, you said it's cold and rainy in North Carolina. Yeah, it's getting crazy, right? Hey everybody. So I decided to kind of have this mental health conversation because the thing is, you just never know. You never know. And now there are, and his appeared to seem to come out of nowhere, but many people who do this to themselves. And if you come up and speak to us, you got to kind of watch your words because YouTube does not like certain words. Um, so if you know the story about Twitch, you know that he committed S. We're going to just use the initial, right? And so what happens is, you just don't know what people are going through internally, and everybody handles things differently. And it's always very sad when someone decides to end it because they think what they're going through is so unbearable that they could just no longer handle it, and they feel that is the only answer. There are rumors circulating as to why he might have done it, that he perhaps got himself into a financial bind. Thank y'all. You're welcome. That he mental illness runs deep in my family, and the stigma is unfortunately real. Yes, it is a bad stigma around it, and we're going to try to talk about that too. So, it's rumors are rolling around that he was dealing with a financial crisis, so to speak, that he perhaps might have had his money tied up into one financial investment, and he lost all of that money and perhaps, did not know how to deal with it. And his way of dealing with it is what he did, taking his own life. But I want to remind you that there are many others that came before him, unfortunately, and we sit back and we look because these others, they seem to have had, like, from appearance purposes, good lives. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, how could they do this? Do you remember the comedian Robin Williams? He did it to himself. Do you remember the I think was she, I don't want to like not misquote the title wrong, but I want to say, was it Miss America? She had a title, and remember, in New York City, and she jumped off the building.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, what was her name? Yes,
I
well,
was agreeing. I was.
yeah, yes. It's so many
I don't remember
individuals.
her name. I'm sad to say, but can I?
Go ahead, Robin. You're breaking. You broke. You went out.
Yeah, I know. I'm breaking up. You'll just throw your hand up. I can see you. I can
Okay,
see you
okay,
if you can't hear me. Just throw your hand up. This
okay.
thing we do know that people make permanent decisions to what we believe to be temporary problems. And,
Right.
we want to, one thing I think is important to note is that all of these people have very different reasons or that we can point to.
Mm.
Robin Williams was experiencing symptoms related to a terminal illness, Lewy body syndrome, and it was pretty unbearable for him. And he chose to not go through that extended and extensive pain and discomfort.
Yeah.
I'm
Hold on, Robin.
uncomfortable that there is like,
Hold on, Robin, 1 second,
sure.
because I wanted to just list some other people. It was her, and yes, Lee Armstrong. Thank you for saying that too. Don Canillas. It's so um TMC came out and said the story was false and had no financial issues at the time of his death. Yeah, I saw that, Toria. I don't know. I think they're kind of spinning different stories. We do have to wait. Yes, Chelsea Smith. Thank you, Miss USA. There are so many
Yes, Chesley.
individuals that face this. Yes, Naomi Judd. Yes, rest
Mm-hmm.
in peace to all of them. And so in Naomi Judd, you would think, because I want to say she was at least in her 70s at the time, and you just sit back and she has her children, had her grandchildren, and it's just like it is shocking to find out that these people are in so much pain that they feel that this is the only answer. With Naomi Judd, her daughter said that she suffered her whole entire life. She struggled with this situation, and I guess she just got tired. She got tired
Mm-hmm.
and she was worn out, and it was just like she said, enough. Lisa Farmer, you said you had a nephew that did it. My condolences. So sorry. Yes, Amaya, that story is spinning around, and some are saying it's not true, some are saying it's true.
Right.
It's all
Right.
either way, it's devastating. And so I want to kind of have the opportunity to have this conversation. One, to say that there's help out there, there's help available.
Yes.
Um, and I was
Mm-hmm.
trying to upload the video. I hope maybe Herbs could come in, or maybe Nadi, you could get it for me. Tyler Perry talked about it. He had a nice video where he said, "Listen, I tried several times to do it also." And
Mm-hmm.
he was
He
just
sure
very,
did say that.
yeah, he was
Mm-hmm.
very fortunate that it didn't work. And his message to everybody was that, pretty much I'm gonna summarize it and say, joy cometh in the morning. You don't know
Mm-hmm.
what morning it's gonna come, but if you hang in there and hold out and just wait, that thing that you think is the end of the world, you know, will probably most likely resolve itself. Now, before I go around and just kind of talk to everybody, I want to kind of say this. There is a motivational speaker that, I listened to most of my life once I discovered him. He has since passed, and his name is Dr. Wayne Dyer. When I tell you I love this man, he saved my life. I mean, he wrote so many books on mind subjects, like, pretty much how you are what you think.
Mm-hmm.
And you can
Mm-hmm.
literally make yourself sick. You can literally drive
Mm-hmm.
yourself crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Daphne, thank you. Yes, Phyllis Hyman. Um, it's so many people that did this to themselves because they just couldn't seem to turn around that darkness that they was feeling within. And it's just heart wrenching and it's heartbreaking. And I hope that, yes, Dr. Wayne Dyer. Oh my God, I love Dr. Wayne Dyer. Now, let me just give you one concept for Dr. Wayne Dyer. Then I want to kind of go around and talk to everybody. Dr. Wayne Dyer says a lot of people find themselves in a dark place for two distinct reasons. One, they're either stuck and keep thinking about the past. Two, they're either stuck and keep thinking about the future. And he said, if you take a moment and only every single day deal with the now, because you can't do nothing about the past, you can't impact the future because you don't even know if you're going to have the future, but you have this moment. And if you live in that moment and not think about the past, the woulda, coulda, shoulda. The other day, I think I told many of you that someone broke into my car, stole my purse, and for a minute, I got stuck in. I knew I shouldn't have left my bag in the car. I shouldn't have did this. I shouldn't have did that. If I would have stayed in the sunken place, I would be a hot mess right now. I can't change it. They broke in my car. They did it. Whatever. The car's in the shop now. Don't know when I'm going to get back, and I'm not worried about it. I have to get all my new ID. I had to get everything. I had to cancel cards. I had to get a new EpiPen because as I started to look for myself, I was like, oh my goodness, that was in my bag. But you know what? I refuse to stay in that sunken place, because if you stay in the sunken place, you will end up in a very dark place. And once you get in a very dark place, you don't know what you might or might not do. So Alexis says mindfulness is key. You are absolutely correct. It's hard to learn, but the five senses help you come back to the present. Alexis, thank you for that message. I want to go around because I want to kind of chat with everybody. The devil try to make people dwell on negative things in their lives instead of the blessings we have. Amaya, you are so correct. Wait a minute. You're talking, Kimberly, you're talking the husband, right? Was the husband, I do remember that because you know I love fashion. But was the husband's name Kate? I don't know why I thought that was the wife's name, but yes, you are correct that the husband for the brand Kate Spade took his own life. You are correct. And as y'all remember, people that did it, throw their name in the chat, even if it's one of your family members. We want to say blessings to all of them. Fact, Stephen, you have to feel it and then release it. Bum vibes, I love that. You are correct. You got to feel it and then release it. Yes, Diva, it can happen to anyone at any time. Absolutely, 100%. So I try to speak gratitude every day. Fifi, that's another good method. Yes, I always wake up. I say something I'm grateful for. You know, I just do, you know, all of that. It was the wife. No, Kimberly, the wife didn't do it. I really thought it was the husband.
No, it was the
Kimberly,
owner, the lady of Kate Spade, the name behind it. She committed S. It
I
was
thought it
her,
was
not
the
the
husband
husband.
though. Okay, y'all
Mm-hmm.
could be right. I could be wrong, but I do remember that. Hey, Auntie Diva. Hey, Roya. Thank you for the super chat. Hey to the great family. I'm out having some family time. God bless. But I just want to say thank you, Diva, for opening the floor for such an important conversation. You know I love you. Thank you. And listen, guys, our beloved Royer, he started a channel. It's exactly how his name is written there. Please go over there, check him out, subscribe. He dropped his first video earlier today and much appreciated. Okay. So yes, please.
And it was a great video. So go hit the
Yes,
like
it
button.
was. Yes, it was. And he gave another super chat. Thank you so much, Maria. I know lives get hard, but always remember you're never alone. This always help. Love y'all. Love you back. All right. So yes, guys. So you know, it's just like we want everybody to know, and that's that. Let me just show that because it's an important message. Thank you again, Maria, for the super chat. I know that life gets hard, but always remember you're never alone. There's always help. Love y'all. Yes, and we love you back. So, and then you know what? We always said, I saw on Instagram today, it was someone I follow, and she pretty much Roya, they can't find your channel. If you could do me a favor, just put the link maybe in the chat. I know you out, have fun with the family, or
I,
I'll put it in there later.
I
But
do it, Diva.
thank you, babe. So so on their chat, they on their Instagram post, they put, you know how it says, check on your family and friends,
Mm-hmm.
and your loved ones. That
Mm-hmm.
person crossed out family and friends and just said, check on people.
Right.
Sometimes we may have to, you know, check on a stranger and just be like, are you okay? Like, is everything good? So I just want to kind of go around the room, and the platform is open for you to share whatever it is you want to share. And we'll just have a conversation. And Curves, if you could do me a favor, I do want to play that video that you sent me from Tyler Perry. If you could do that share that you did yesterday for me, I want to show that to everybody. I appreciate it. Thanks for being through, and I watched the interview, and we'll talk later. Great job. But yes, you did it. Okay, so we'll talk about it later. Thank you. Thank you. They're throwing Voyeur's link in there to his YouTube channel. So Shan, I want to start with you because as a fellow nurse, we see a lot of people go through this. I see a lot of people that are, you know, were perfectly, I don't want to say perfectly fine, but that we're okay. And then all of a sudden they get a diagnosis or something and it takes them into the sunken place.
Mm-hmm.
Shan, what would you like to say about this subject?
I would just like to say everything is temporary. This life is temporary. Pain is temporary. Like everything comes and goes, you know, up and down. And
Mm-hmm.
it's really sad what happened to that guy. I didn't know who he was initially, but then I researched. But either way, it was very sad, and I've seen a lot of traumatic things. But what we each have to do is really find in our heart what makes us happy, because it's
Mm-hmm.
not materialistic things. Like,
Right.
happiness can be very conditional. So I think if we all try to be content with where we are and just know that things are temporary. Like 2 years ago, I had a horrible boyfriend, right? This year, I have a wonderful boyfriend. And that doesn't make me happy. It's just things are temporary, things change. You never know. And like Diva said, hang in there because you don't know what tomorrow might bring. The bad job, the bad relationship, the family situation, everything can change if you're willing to put in the work and realize that you have to just be content with where you are. And
Mm-hmm.
happiness really is conditional. You know, you might be happy you got a new car today, and then the car gets old and you're like, you know, over it. But I think we should not try to put so much into the material things, because we see all the time these really wealthy people, you know, they're not
Mm-hmm.
happy.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm trying to work on for the next year is really look into myself and say, okay, what makes me content?
Mm-hmm.
What I can do all the time that just put a smile on my face. You know, my job is very stressful, and I know things like YouTube, shopping, those little things. And I know I'm contradicting myself by saying those little things make me happy, but shopping does make me happy, right? But my
Mm-hmm.
life doesn't depend on it. If I don't shop, I'm still happy. And we
Mm-hmm.
have to remember health is the most important thing too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you can reach out to people. I used to check on my neighbor. I had a really sick neighbor. She lived alone. She didn't have any kids. I would just check on her every time. She'd be like, "You're back again." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just seeing how you doing." You know, I moved away, but like Diva said, you can check on a stranger, you know,
Mm-hmm.
talk
Mm-hmm.
about it, let it out. You could even talk to a stranger. I talk to strangers all the time, tell them all my business, and it feels good. I feel like I'm not judged, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Shan, thank you for sharing. Um,
Anytime
You
you're ready.
know, I hope I'm pronouncing. I saw. Thank you so much, Curbs. I'm gonna bring it up in a second. I appreciate that. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I'm having a hard time. I lost my 30-year-old daughter in 2020, and at times I'm stuck, especially during the holidays. First of all, my condolences. And you know, I will say this: in the hospital, they always say for people when they're going through something, try to find, and maybe you already are part of it, a support group
Mm-hmm.
that has, you know, went through a similar trauma as yourself, you losing their child.
Yes.
And sometimes those support groups can help you, you know, you're always gonna feel something from it. So I don't want to use the word get over it, but help you live with your trauma and not have the trauma kind of take you down, and be okay with embracing your moments of sadness,
Mm-hmm.
because you know it's these are one of those situations where you're always going to miss them.
Mm-hmm.
You can still love them, you can still honor their life, and in the meantime you can still live your life, and know that your loved one, your daughter in this particular case, she wants you to live your life. And I don't want to push my beliefs on anybody. So but I just want to say this. I feel like we will all meet again. That's
yep.
just my feeling. And
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like, you know, when the time is supposed to be, y'all will meet again. I'm sending you my love. I'm sending you my hugs. And I'm also saying that I really hope if you're not in a group already, yes, in a group already, that perhaps you can join a group that is going through a similar situation as yourself. Before I go through anything again, I want to take a moment, because what I do love is when public figures that we all know collectively
Mm-hmm.
speak out and say, listen, I dealt with this too, so that we know that, you know, we all kind of deal with the same stuff, whether you are worth millions or you're worth zero, right? We all go through similar stuff in a dark place. And I want to thank you, Curbs. I'm going to pull this up now. I want us to take a moment and hear Tyler Perry speak on this subject.
By the death of Stephen Boss, Twitch. And it prompted me to come on to talk to any of you who are going through hard times, struggling. I've only met him a couple of times, and he was always full of life and seemed like such a light. But with that said, I just want to take you back to a time in my life where I tried to commit suicide a couple of times because it was so dark. I didn't think it would get any better. I had endured so much pain, so much abuse, sexual abuse. It was all so hard to just move through that I thought the only way to make this better, this pain go away, is to end my life. Had any of those attempts happened, I would have missed the best part of my life. I know you may be going through some things. I know you may seem like there is no hope, but please reach out to someone. I'm going to post this number. Call, ask for help if you are dealing with anything that is emotionally taking you to a place where you think you want to end your life. What I realized now, looking back on all those dark times, is sometimes the pain is a buy-in. I know that's hard to understand. Not all the time. Sometimes the pain is a buy-in. That's the way I had to learn to look at it to get through it. What I mean by that is all of that pain, all of that hell, all of that struggle. If I had given up, if I had stopped, I wouldn't have seen the better part of my life. So I was buying into something. I was paying for something. I know that doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but for me, it was the way I was able to rationalize it, to be able to move through the pain, knowing that if I could just get through this moment, there's got to be something better. And my life now, I'm the happiest I've ever been. Life is full of joy and love, things I never thought I'd get to. And I'm saying that to you, if you are a person who is considering suicide or ending your life, and you've already been through a lot of hell, please, please, please think about what the other side could be. It could be amazing. And you would miss the best part of it going through the darkness. Don't let the darkness stop you from getting to this incredible place of light. My hope is that if you need help, that you reach out, call this number. God bless you. I'm with you. I'm a living witness. You can make it through it. And I'm so glad that my attempts didn't work. I'm still alive, the best part of my life. And I would have missed it had I decided to end it. So, well, I did, but if it had worked. So, thank you. My prayers are with you. Let's end this new year loving us, loving on each other, and encouraging ourselves. Because it's going to take that from within. God bless you. Rest in peace, Twitch.
Can I just also say one thing, Diva?
Yeah.
I feel like we need to start as a society too to accept that it's okay to be depressed. It's okay to be sad. Because I've been sad before and I haven't told my friends, my mom, because I feel like people is going to look at me and say, "Oh, you're this, you have this, you have this. What do you have to be sad about?" Like, you know, in like my culture. So I feel like we need to acknowledge it's okay to be sad. You know, it's okay to be depressed, and we have to be willing to talk about it and not be ashamed. Because I
Right.
feel like a lot of people
Right.
are ashamed because social media shows you all the best parts of everyone's life,
Mhm.
and no one can come out and say, "You know what? Today I feel like shit." I'm sorry. Today I feel like, ish. So we need to start there too.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so before I go to the next person, give me 1 second here. I just want to say that I really truly appreciate that message from Tyler Perry. I feel like it was so brave of him to say it. I feel like it was needed to be heard because the simple fact of to see somebody with his success level, knowing that he went through the struggle. And listen, I do know this, that things that happen in your thing called life, it can truly change the trajectory of your life.
Mhm.
And but if you hold on, if you work through it, you can get back on track. And he talked a lot about being the M word, um, as he was growing up. And that really messes with people's head in a big, big way. And you can get in a dark place. And I think that, there's recovery from darkness, and that's what we need to know. And I think that we have to embrace more that therapy is okay, because
Yes.
I will tell you the biggest thing that I learned in life: your feelings need a home. When you keep those feelings inside you, they wreak havoc. They lie to you, tell you you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, you might as well end this. It's never going to you they're going to look at you like you're crazy, they're going to think you're foolish, and all of that is lies that you tell yourself. But it becomes easy to tell yourself those lies when you're in the sunken place. Before I go to the next person, give me a minute. I want to acknowledge Sunny here and thank you for sharing. You said your son's father committed C, and I'm thinking you mean S, like when he was 7 years old, and now my son suffers with mental illness. It's a struggle every day. Okay, and you know what, Sonny, my condolences. And I would say the best thing to do again, therapy, 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 because it helps. Right. And then in
Yes.
addition to
Yes.
that, let me tell you something that I learned too. I read a lot of motivational books, right? And I limit on a high level the amount of news that I watch. I actually am
Mm-hmm.
to the
Mm-hmm.
point where I barely watch it. And the one book that I read, it said, first of all, you can't do anything about what you see. It's
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10 is going to make you sad and depressed. And then they said, when you start your day off, because I used to watch the news, really, I told myself it was to get the weather. But before they even get to the weather, they showed 100 things that happened that was all devastating and negative. Somebody got stabbed on a train. Somebody got killed. This got blown up. There was
Right.
a burning building and 5 people died. Like, so when you have all of that in your psyche, and you just
Mm-hmm.
about to start your day, trust me, what you intake mentally, it comes out of you physically.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so if you're intaking a whole bunch of negativity in the morning, it's going to impact your day. So I
Right.
released it. I'm not a news junkie anymore. I barely ever watch it, but that's just my tip. Carbs, I want to come to you and thank you for bringing that video up and sharing it for me. Yes.
Mm, you're
So
welcome.
what would you like to share?
I appreciate what you just said. And I appreciate what Shan was saying. The depression, like everything, it's multi-layered, it's
Mm-hmm.
multifaceted. There's no
Mm-hmm.
one thing that it's not just happy, it's not just stress, it's not
Mm-hmm.
just diet. There is like a cumulative effect.
It's
And
different
I just want to
stages.
offer that
Mm-hmm.
there are five major causes for what they believe to be depression, everything from childhood experiences, life events, mental health problems, physical health problems, genetic disposition and inheritance. There is medication. Sometimes even your recreational drugs or alcohol can do it to you. Sleep, diet, and exercise. So these are some of the things that come up when I was wondering, like, well, even for me, where did it come from? And for me, it was like a mix of all of these things, like, my childhood experiences, being bullied, the life events of, like, loved ones passing away, mental health problems. Well, I'm bona fide crazy. Physical health problems, thank God I'm healthy enough. But the genetic inheritance, my father was prone to depression. My grandmother had Alzheimer's. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that in the inner workings of Larja became an issue for me. When one time I was just like, I was so utterly depressed. And I went to my mom, she's a reverend, and I said, Mom, I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy, Mom. And she said, Well, be happy. I said, What you mean? She said, Well, happy is a choice. You know that's not like even a bona fide emotion. Like that's just like something people say to describe what they're feeling in that moment. Like happy isn't the point. She's like, I bet you might be reaching for joy. You know what I mean? Because that's an even deeper understanding of what it is and takes to be positive in this existence. And so I went and I talked to the psychiatrists. And luckily in my area, California is awesome, you guys. We have so many freaking resources. And even prior to the vid, we were able to, like, if you need to go talk to somebody, the county will be like, go over there for free, for sliding scale, whatever, right? So I go and I tell this guy, I'm like, I want to be happy.
And he was like, well, what do you think will make you happy? It's because see how it's a thought, right? So my mom had said, think, choose happy. It's a thought. And now I get to the psychiatrist and he's like, it's a thought, you know? And so I just had to understand that there were things that I had control over, but not everybody has that control, as you know from
Mm-hmm.
the list. Not everybody can have a mom to go talk to. Not everybody has a dad to go talk to. Not everybody has a friend or a touchstone that they can reach out to. And so that's the importance of us checking on others, because not everybody can reach. You know what I'm saying? And especially when you're in so much pain, sometimes you just don't even, how can you reach when you feel broken? You know what
Mm,
I mean? So I just want to offer again, like acknowledging that there's many causes for depression and having compassion with yourself to understand that this could just be a moment for you too if you allow it to be. Don't jump the gun. And that's another reason why it's important to have our emotions in check, right? Because if you
mm,
feel oh so depressed and you're not in check of your emotions, you might make a decision that you can't take back. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
just try really, really hard during from this moment forward. We don't have to look backwards. We don't have
yeah.
to look back there. We're not going that way, you guys. We're going over here. We don't have to live back there, you guys. We're going over here. You know, the pain is back there. And we have to
Mm-hmm.
know that that's where it is while we go over here. It's okay to let that be there while you move on to your whole healed self. Okay. And I just wish that Twitch had, I mean, they're saying all of this stuff, and I'm a big, tinfoil hat girl, so I'm only believing half of it. But what they say he did is so triggering for me also, because my brunkle, my brother uncle, we were 3 years apart. He did what they said Twitch did. And
Mm,
I still haven't even really dealt with that. So I was like totally triggered by Twitch. He looks like my uncle and everything. So but yeah, it feels selfish, but it's really like the ultimate kind of sacrifice in a way for that person to like do that. But it's for the people that are left, we have to understand that that's their choice ultimately.
mm-hmm.
um don't
You
judge,
know what? I
don't
don't even know,
be mad with it.
Curve. Curves. I don't even know if it's really their choice. They're
Yeah, like
so,
that's what they did. So there's
yeah,
nothing you can do about it. I mean, it's
yeah,
one of those, it is what it is with love. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing I can do. Yeah,
yeah.
to bring my Bronco back. I had no idea. We were literally planning a vacation. We were literally had just got back from someplace. He had literally just got the job of his dreams. He had literally just left his sister's house and said, I'm coming back tomorrow to cook dinner. He had literally just got like a huge refund. I mean, it was like literally the weirdest timing. And none of us will ever know what that thought was he couldn't catch. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I just want to offer like, just be nice, be compassionate, check in on people, check in on yourself. If you need
Yeah.
to talk, I got a channel. You can reach out to me. I love to talk. Hey, I speak life a lot. So I would love to help you through that if you need to reach out. And just know that you're loved, that you're worthy, that, there's a million sperm that didn't even get to be a zygote. There's so much to be thankful for. You know what I mean? So just try to like remember.
Yes, yes. So, Curbs, I want to say to you also my condolences. And I want to add this, like, the thing is, people that do that, they can't even think about themselves, let alone anybody else. So they're so far beyond the point of I'm leaving behind all my loved ones. They like their emotions have taken over, and they literally feel like this is the only answer to stop the internal pain that is beating them down. So, it's like they just they're at the end of their rope. They literally are. And at that point, the demons are speaking to them heavy, and they just can't stop what's going on inside their head. And
Yes.
they think like this is the answer, right? So I want to acknowledge Feds. I don't know what it was in reference to, but I think you said something like no friends. I'm not sure what you meant with that. But here's the thing I want to say, and I'm gonna throw little tidbits in as I go around and speak to different people. I want to say this: we were not meant to live alone. None of us. Okay, that's not how God intended it. But if you don't believe in God, I don't want to shut you out. It's not how the universe intended it. We are human beings. We're meant to be loved, with hug, talk to, and have
Mm-hmm.
someone there that supports us and that we can turn to in a time of need, right? So my thing is that at some point you gotta trust someone, and the thing is, what I have learned is I trust you until I can't trust you. But I don't change who I am based upon the craziness that's going on in the world. If I can trust, I give everybody a clean slate. I trust you until I can't. And then when I can't trust you, I cut you off, let you go, and I move on with life. Okay. Lee Armstrong, you had said something. I didn't get to write it down. I wanted to acknowledge. I'm sorry. I'll when I find it, I'll go back to it. But I wanted to acknowledge something that you said there that happened. Yeah, I can't, I don't remember now, but you had said something that I wanted to pretty much acknowledge, and I do apologize. I went past it. But when I'm coming to you next, Robin, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
get to everybody, so please just hang in there. I'm coming to you next, Robin, but I want to also say this. If you watch, darn it, I don't know what Al Roker, I can't remember
Yeah.
what morning show he is on, but
Mm-hmm.
if you want to see an absolutely amazing video. We can't play it because it's music in it, but an amazing video because he was in the hospital for 30 days. He's going through a lot of health issues. But when I
Mm.
tell you his TV family came to his house and came through for him, if you see that video and you see the tears, and when he turned to his wife, and you can tell that his wife is there through sickness and health.
Mm-hmm.
um that's, I mean, I just was, my heart melted when I saw that video, saw
Mm.
his response, and know how his wife is like there for him and loves him so much. If you get an opportunity to see that video, I'm coming to you, Robin. What would you like to say? Can you hear me, Robin? I know Robin been having like internet issues.
Okay, I have to tell you, I haven't heard barely. I can barely hear you. I've missed most of everything that's been said, and I actually was going to drop out because I don't
Okay,
know if you can hear me. But
we can.
I apologize if I repeat anything that's been said. But one of the
Okay.
things that's important to note is yes, there are a lot of resources out there. But yes, there are also so many different reasons that we will probably never understand for why people engage this activity.
Yeah.
I continue to reel over this personally. One of my best friend's sons did this, and he wasn't depressed. He had a particular mental illness that I don't know exactly what it was, but I want you to know
Hmm.
he was brilliant. Talk about this is a kid who graduated um, valedictorian of his class, went on to Duke University, graduated summa cum laude, was in medical school and
Hmm.
didn't go to class. But whenever it was time for exams, he would conduct reviews. He would actually teach his fellow students the curricula. It turns out that he was having mental health issues, that something was going on in his brain. He was on medication. The medication made him feel outside of himself. And he was in another state. The family checked in on him regularly, and he just really assured us that he was great. He was fine. There were no problems. But then this happened. And so when I go to the house, and really not long after this happens, because they were sitting Shiva. And so I go, and one of the brothers says, you know what, Rob? I got to tell you, as much as this is painful to us, I know my brother well enough to know that he was on this medication, that this medication made him feel so much unlike himself. There was
Mm-hmm.
no combination that
Mm-hmm.
was going to work for him to
Mm-hmm.
make him feel okay. And
It's
he
real.
just could not go on day to day like this. And I tell
Mm-hmm.
you, to this day, I will have moments where I just cry over it because He was not only brilliant, but he was funny. He was funny. I find myself quoting him with stupid things like he would say, like someone said, "Well, why are you having lasagna for breakfast?" And he said, "Your stomach don't know what time of day it is." It's so that kind of thing, and it's really hard. And some of us have had moments of ideation, and I will be honest and say that actually happened to me recently because I was sitting going, "Wow, I have this wrong, this wrong, this wrong. I can't turn here. I can't turn there." That was actually for one night. And the next day, you're right. It was different the next morning. But sometimes you just get so despondent and you just are like, what to do? And you don't know. I feel for
Mhm.
everybody. And like I did hear Curve say that, it's those of us who are left behind that have the greatest struggle because we seek to understand the whys. We wonder what if I had done X, Y, and Z. I remember being a youth, and my grandmother went through this because my grandmother was a living domestic, and one of the sons was interesting. He was away at college. He kept calling my grandmother saying, "Bernice, I need to talk to you. Please come out." And my grandmother knew that he was in distress because she'd actually saved him in their home once before. And I remember being a young teen after he had done this. And I said, "Well, Mama Bernice, you can't blame yourself." He was dealing with something that he just couldn't get beyond. And we just have to really accept that as much help as was offered to him, you taking a plane ride to Colorado was not going to change his outcome. And I had to get her to not feel guilty. But it's a hard thing. And the last thing I will say is, I have also read some speculation, just one place, about Twitch's passing, and it pains me just for anyone to speculate, to theorize, to figure. Um, we want to know because we want to know. We want to make sense of it for ourselves. But I'm really hoping that the public in general just
Community.
takes a moment and lets the family work this out. Let us not spread gossip,
Rumors.
innuendo,
Hmm.
and all those things because it does nothing. Because in this world, everything is so open. It just gets back to the family. It just piles on the pain of this experience. And I'm just hoping that the dialogue that we're having can be helpful. And for those who can be helped, who want to be helped, who can be reached, we hope that each and every one gets that hand and that help.
Thank you, Robin. And a quick number that you can call to get help is 988.
Hmm.
I think, the shame
888.
sometimes get to people and stops them.
Hmm.
They don't want to go through the public scrutiny. And
Yeah.
so before I go to the next person, I'll throw another little tidbit in there that somebody gave me. Listen, I'm fortunate that I'm okay if I have a lot. I'm okay if I have a little. So, and I was one of those that, like they say, was born and raised in the church. And so they always taught, like, one pastor that I've gone to the church like over a decade. He always taught, you know what, be grateful for where you're at.
Yes.
And so I literally treat my home like it's my mini mansion.
Yes.
Okay. And
Hmm.
although they tell you to, they tell you, don't put too much, like if you're in a certain neighborhood and you have a certain home, they're like, oh, don't put too much into it because you'll never get that value back, if you go to sell it. I don't care if I get the value back when I go to
That's
sell this
right.
home. I'm gonna live in this home like it's my mansion. I got chandeliers up in here.
That's
Girl,
right.
bye. Listen, I'm living my life. I eat out of my dishes. Okay. When people come over, they're like, "Oh, we use paper plates." No, I use my plates and my dishes that I bought. They're not just sit in that cabinet. I use my stuff. So I
Hmm.
live my life every single day, and I do whatever it is I want to do when I can do it. And like I think Shan said, do whatever makes you happy. As long as it's not harming you, do whatever makes you happy. I want to come to Toria, then Mel, Nadi. I'm not forgetting you. Hang in there with me, everybody. I want to get to everybody. So Toria, I want to come to you. What would you like to say?
Well, mostly everybody on the panel knows that my son was murdered in 2004.
Mm,
And after the funeral and everything. I want to say it was maybe 3 or 4 weeks afterwards. I was having a really hard time. I had already had issues as a young person with bipolar that runs in our family. But that was under control, had been under control for years with medicine and everything. But I had got so depressed and sunk down so low that I didn't think I could get out of it. I wanted to be with him. And I drove around the city of West Baltimore with a 9 millimeter on the seat of my car and a bottle of liquor that I never drank before, and was gonna end it all. I wanted to just end it all, and I ended up at a hospital. I don't know how I got there. I don't remember driving there, but I went to Sinai Hospital, left the car running, the car door open, because the nurse came out and put the weapon in the trunk and parked the car, took the keys out, and they took me into their psych ward. And I was there like 97 days. And I think the first 3 or 4 weeks, I didn't even talk to them. I couldn't, somebody sat outside my room daily trying to talk to me, trying to get me to talk to them. I just wanted to end it all. And then I had some friends coming to see me, and of course my husband, and they was like, think about us and think about your son, our son. He wouldn't want you to go with him. He would want you to stay here. You got 2 girls to raise. We got grandchildren. But it was hard. It was really hard. I really wanted to just end it all. I was at the end of my ropes. And I see how people get there. But I used to think that you had to be like, to go to a therapist. I never wanted to do that. I never wanted to talk to people about what was going on. It wasn't that I was embarrassed. I just didn't think talking could help me. I didn't, because I didn't know any better at the time. But I know now that you have to talk about what's going on. You have to check on your friends, check on your family, even your family that is doing what you think is fantastic, living fantastic life. Check on them, because you never know what's going on with them. I make it a point to send little messages through Messenger to my friends and people that I just know through social media and stuff, just to check on them if I haven't seen them around in a while, posting anything or doing anything, just to check, because you just never know. And you never know who you might can help by doing that. And I want people to know therapy does work. And if you can't have access to a therapist because you feel as though you don't have the money to do so, there is help available that is free. You can go to a church, talk to a pastor. Most churches have deacons and mothers and things in the church that can help you with a various amount of things, from homelessness to food to mental health. Turn to somebody. There is help available.
Wow, Toria, I want to say thank you so much for trusting us, sharing your story. Because if we help one person, then we did enough. And I don't know if y'all remember, there was a young lady, and I gotta go back and get her name. Forgive me now, because you reminded me of her, Toria, when you told your story. But she wrote a book, and I interviewed her, and she had a preemie, and her preemie lived for a few months. When I remember her name, I'm gonna go back to just to honor her by saying her name. So preemie lived for a few months, and then she ended up getting pregnant again, and she had another preemie. but she went into that dark space. She couldn't let her son go, the one that passed away. And so she talked about it, even though she had the second baby, she just was feeling like you was feeling. She just wanted to go. She wanted to be with her son, right? And I want to say they called them Doc. Part of it is coming back to me now. But I just want to, long story short, is that she said the same thing as you. She just wanted to go be with him. But she said her son like came to her and pretty much was like, you gotta live. Yeah, thank you, Leslie. You're doing better than me. I appreciate you, Leslie. Faith Dawson. So she said, you know, pretty much that she just couldn't take it, right? And so, but when he came to her and said, you got to live for my sisters, you know, she pretty much kind of got herself together. Well, unfortunately, I want to say I interviewed Faith in the summer. A few months after I interviewed her, she passed away.
Oh my.
Um, and I really think, you know, the author that introduced me to Faith, she pretty much told me, because they were friends, she was like, Faith just gave up. Faith gave up. I think Faith just could never get over the fact that, you know, Doc, the son that passed away. So I know wholeheartedly that the individuals that she didn't commit S, but do you understand? Like she had diabetes, and she had some other stuff going on. But I think that, you know, a mind is a powerful thing.
It
And
is.
so
It is,
it
Diva.
is a powerful thing, right?
If
And
it
so,
wasn't, not
go ahead.
only that, if it wasn't, I'm gonna tell you what happened. That really, after the therapy and all that, I totally still had turned away from the church and God, right? I totally
Hmm.
turned away from that. That's where I got to that lowest place at. And I was messing around on my phone one day and I came across this lady named Sylvia. And she was doing affirmations and talking about God and everything. And I started watching her. Then I end up talking to her and, you know, emailing her, and she was emailing me. And she helped me so much. And she told me, find some other channels on YouTube, Toria, to occupy your time and your mind when you're not, you know, cooking, because she knows I love to cook. When you're not cooking and doing anything else for the homeless, she said, why don't you find some other channels? And then I found Sherelle and met all of you guys. And you don't know that talking to yous and chatting with yous in the chat and everything, that helps me so much. Because there are, especially like now, you know, the holidays.
Hmm.
My son's birthday was December the 8th. And then here's another Christmas, you know, without him. But talking to all of yous and everything, it really helps. The laughter about the shows. I know I don't take that serious. When I talk about them housewives, I don't know none of them. I'll probably never meet them. So I like to say crazy things and make people laugh, and y'all make me laugh. That helps me so much because you don't know what I be thinking about when I hang up or go off, you know, you just go offline or
Hmm.
something. So I want to thank you too because you make me laugh and you help me get through things. And Curves, give that money to the grandbabies.
I know you was a winner, Toria. That's so sweet, and thank you. I want to say this, Toria. Not you think that we're helping you, but you help me too, like everybody. Um, I didn't even know that doing this, I would have so much fun. I would be so inspired, and I would miss it when I don't come on. Like it's so crazy. And I truly, truly, I mean, from the bottom of my heart, I feel like this is my YouTube family. I really feel that way. Yes, right, Curves? I mean, I'm saying Naughty, right? Yes. I
Me
really feel
too.
that way. And yes, and I really feel that way. And I feel like that God works in mysterious ways. And, you know, we don't end up like meeting each other or getting connecting with each other by accident. I feel like it was all part of a divine plan.
Exactly.
So again, Toria, we don't never know the answer until we get to meet him and find out the answer. So sorry that that happened to your son, but I'm also grateful that you made it past the dark side, like Tyler Perry was saying, like that you're here.
Yeah.
And know that, and this is what I believe, your son is looking down on you and is very proud of you having the strength to carry on, to be strong, and to do everything that you do for your husband and others.
Yeah.
So I truly appreciate you for sharing. Thank you so much. And just as much as you think we do for you, you do the same for us. Because um, I like when people get feisty in the chat and all that, and
Yeah.
throw, like you said, we don't know these people. We just having fun. But let me
Yep.
just read this really quick from Candace Speaks. You said, I felt like I didn't want to be here anymore when my brother passed, and my condolences, Candace. And listen, thank you everyone for being brave enough to share. We truly appreciate it. I mean, you don't know who you might be helping. I wanted to go with him. I totally understand that. I wasn't present for 2 to 3 years, just going through the motions. Yes, I still miss him, but God is my strength. You know what? And again, I had a girl. So I told everybody I have a book club, right? I have a book club. We was at one point 11 members strong. That 11 included myself. Some people moved away, a couple of people dropped, but I had one friend, and we went to nursing school together. She's younger. She was 10 years younger than me, or even 10 years younger than me. 40 years old. At 40 years old, I got a call one day. I was in the gym, I was on the treadmill, and my other book member called me. And you know what's so weird? You know how you don't know, but you know something's not right? When I was on the treadmill and I saw that she was calling me, and she calls me all the time, I was like, this is weird. And so I picked up the phone and I said, hey, what's up? She said, where are you? I was like, I'm in the gym. She said, what are you doing? I said, I'm on the treadmill. She said, get off the treadmill. When she said that, I already knew something was wrong, but I was not prepared for what she was going to tell me. And like I said, and we'll talk about nursing school a whole nother day. It's a beast. But me and my one girlfriend, we went through nursing school together. Long story short, at 40, she had a heart attack and she died. And let me tell you, oh, look at that's my boo right there. That's the one who called me. Hey, Malika. Um, you know, my heart dropped and I went through so many emotions. And I just, you to this day, every now and then, because that's why I think you're always going to deal with it. Every now and then I turn around and I wake up and I still can't believe it. Um, I didn't believe it that day. I still kind of don't believe it now. And every now and then I know, like, when something happens, like I feel like it's her. And then there's some other people in my life that have passed. And I know some things I just was like, that's that person. And I'll tell a very short story. My son's father, my son was 11 and he passed away. And it's just one of those things where you don't, it doesn't leave you. You just kind of learn how to live your daily life, adjusting to the moments. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So with that being said, let me come to Nadi and Dr. Love. I'm getting to you, Mel. I did not forget about you.
Okay.
Nadi, what do you want to share?
Woo, this is a heavy, heavy, heavy topic for me, guys. Because I've been there in that dark, dark place. I've been close. Um, it was a time in my life where everything was compacting. So many things were coming at me, and then when you're so used to having control of things, and then all of a sudden everything is out of control, you get overwhelmed, and I just started to lose track of my daily self-care. And
Hmm.
because there was so much happened to me. I was in a bad marriage, and because of the bad marriage, the kids was acting up, so like everything was going at once, and I really got to that dark place where I just didn't even want to do it anymore. I wanted to just give up. And Diva, a lot of it was because of my upbringing. I came from that Don't ask, don't tell. Whatever goes on in this house stays in this house. You keep your business to yourself. You suck it up and you keep it moving on. But you don't deal with the emotions. And that's what I had to learn, to be open about how I felt, what I was feeling. But my family is just one of those families. They don't acknowledge mental illness. It's just kind of like invalidation. Oh, you're strong, keep it moving. But I had to realize it was okay not to be strong all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I had to relinquish and I had to give in, because life was going to take its course regardless. All right. But I had to learn to start speaking up about my feelings and being honest about my feelings. And I couldn't wonder about how it was going to affect someone else, because like I was the most important thing in this scenario. And I'm glad I started to speak up, because I began to get the help that I needed. And that was God in me, because you know what? I'm faced with a situation and dealing with one of my children who has mental illness that's way more serious than, because I deal with depression.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter, her father has schizophrenia that runs on his side of the family, and it has affected my adult daughter. And we're battling right now for her life.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's an adult, there's very little we can do.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're in this fight of um helping her understand what her mental illness is and trying to accept it. And that's where we are with it, but I had to pat myself on the back, because I had to show my children how to take care of themselves the proper way.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're in a place where she's starting to accept medication. She's starting to accept help. But these are all triggers for my depression.
Mm-hmm.
To be
Mm-hmm.
honest, you know what I mean? And this trying to stay strong and be a leader. I have 2 daughters. To show them how to take care of themselves. It's all overwhelming. But I'm open now. I talk about my feelings. I went to my job today so they can find me a therapist so I can cope and be the best I can be in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I had to accept is the things that I can't control, I just got to let it go. I got to
Yeah.
deal with the moment and get through each moment at a time to stay stable. Because what used to lead to my depression is I used to bottle everything up.
Mm-hmm.
And that did more harm than good for me, because I felt isolated and
Mm-hmm.
all alone. I didn't feel like I can open up with anyone, because it was a matter of trust. Like, can I trust anyone with this information? Because people will weaponize it against you if they don't have your best interest at heart.
Absolutely.
People, if you're going through something, say something. There's so many resources out here. I encourage our community. A lot of times the mentality is against therapy, but I needed that neutral platform to express myself in, so to speak, like this scream, to deal with my family pathology that I had nothing to deal with building.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to accept, like, I had no control over that. This was what was instilled in me. And I had to understand that I'm still a good person. I'm just going
Mm-hmm.
through situations. I'm just going through life. And I had to learn to value myself again. And thank you so much to everybody for listening.
Well, thank you, Nadi, for sharing. And
Yes.
Nadi,
Thank you, Maddie.
I don't know. If somebody help me, if you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But jobs have this. I can't think of the name of it, what it is right now. But you
EAP.
get
EAP.
free, yes,
EAP.
EAP.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you,
Uh-huh.
everybody. Yes, yes, yes. And you get like 8 sessions free.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
to at least start out. And I used this several times
Yes.
because we need help navigating life. Sometimes it can get rough. And listen,
Mm-hmm.
your rough patch. See, sometimes too, it could be you going through a breakup in a relationship. Heartbreak can take you out.
Yes.
What it can take you out. Have you not eating, not drinking, not doing nothing,
Mhm.
not washing yourself?
Mhm.
Okay,
Not
it
caring.
really can, and that's why I think that we have to normalize. Um, it's okay to seek professional help, and the
Mhm.
reason why I like professional help better is because then your business is not being spread in the streets.
Right.
You see, sometimes we used to, I think old school is you was able to talk to girlfriends, friends, families, this, that, and the other,
Cousins. Mm-hmm.
but cousins, but now a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people, they're not listening to help you. They're
Mm-hmm.
listening, so as soon as you hang up with them, they calling somebody else and
Right.
telling all
Tell your
your good
business.
business.
Right.
And
Or
so
they listen
that's
to judge.
yes. And that's why it's a good thing. Speak to somebody neutral. And now here's, you know what? Now this what I do like about all this Zoom and social media is that
It's
you can
virtual.
now in private in your home do a Zoom meeting with the therapist.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You can do a phone call with the therapist. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, thank you, Q and Quiet EAP Employee Assistance
Mm-hmm.
Program. Utilize it,
That's what
people,
I
because
use.
you don't even have to be pay your copay.
No,
And you
Right.
can
that's
and
what,
you
guys, that's what I use
yes,
whenever I feel like stuff. But see, that's the thing is you got to be honest with yourself and recognize where you are. Okay.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm dealing with a lot of overwhelming things in life. My mom, we're at the beginning stages of her dementia. We're trying to get her diagnosed. You know, I got my daughter with the mental illness. And I had to say to myself, this is a lot to handle. I
yes.
Mm-hmm.
need
Mm-hmm.
someone neutral that can support me because I know I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to get it from my family. And it's
Right.
Mm-hmm.
accepting the place I am in life and meeting it where it's at. And it's okay. You know, I have some of my best sessions with my therapist, and I walk away like, whoa,
See?
I finally let it go. And I don't have to worry about judgment. And I leave it right
Right.
there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yes.
know, so
Yes.
it's just acknowledging your feelings. I had to really like dig deep, and I had to do a lot of therapy, you guys, to deal with my family pathology. The mental illness goes deep, but I came up in a family where they don't acknowledge it. They just let it go and let everybody run amok. Oh, he's just drunk over in the corner. Well, we won't invite him to the family functions anymore because we know what he going. That's not the answer. But I had to recognize my family pathology and meet them where they at, and just know that they would not be able to give me what I needed, that
Yes.
validation that I needed. And so that's why therapy is so good. And I'm a big advocate for it. I'm a big advocate.
Thank you for sharing. And yes, hashtag use your benefits, okay? Use your benefits. And that it's really helpful. Yes. So thank you, EAP. Utilize those benefits, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so, and then some of them will even work with you afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of your copay and everything else, or they're even, ask if you can get some more sessions, so forth and so on. So yes, use your benefits. Thank you so much for sharing, Nani. So before I go to you, Dr. Love, let me say this. And Mel, thank you for stopping by. I don't know if you're still listening. So sorry I didn't have a chance to get to you. But maybe we'll do more sessions like this. So, Nadi, I know you
Yeah.
have a channel also. And as you were speaking, I just got some ideas in my head about your channel. Because everything that you're going through, there's somebody else out there going through the same exact thing. And I would just encourage you, and it doesn't have to be every one that you do, is to do some videos on these particular topics and just let people know too, like how you navigated through it. Like,
Right.
therapy is a topic, right? We
Mm-hmm.
gotta start making sure people know it's okay to talk to somebody. I probably had over 13 therapists in my life. Listen, I got
Mm-hmm.
here for a reason. Like you gotta you and then I had one therapist, and this is how I got into reading all of these books on mindfulness and all of that. This is how I found out about Dr. Wayne Dyer, was from one of my therapists. He was like, I never forget this man. He told me you can get your entire life together by reading some of these books and understanding that you're not alone and that don't look in the rear view mirror, so to speak. right? Because he said, there's nothing. He said, do you have a time machine? I never forget this one therapist. He said, do you have a time machine? I'm looking like, what are you talking about? Right? He said, no, none of us do. He said, don't look back. He said, don't ever look back. He said, don't judge yourself for any decision that you made, whether it was right, wrong, or indifferent. He said, if you messed up, forgive yourself, let it go, move on. And you want to know something very important that he told me? He said, other people will try to bring up your past and try to weaponize it and use your past against you. You tell them that's not who you are anymore. If they can't accept you where you are now, then tell them then cut them out of your life. Be done with them. Don't allow anybody to keep reminding you of what you did in your past, because they're not helping you and they're definitely not your friend. So you gotta let them go.
And guess what, Diva? On top of that, they have a past too that they're avoiding. So that's why they're talking about
that
all
part.
your flaws.
That part right there. Yeah, okay, that's what I'm talking about, Bombage. You had about 8 to 10 therapists who listen. They helped me. They saved my life. Let me
like so.
Come on, Sid. Okay, therapy
I had a
and
friend.
everything.
I had
Yeah,
a
go
friend
ahead.
that I just decided I wasn't taking into 2023 because like it's too much, you know.
Yeah.
So it's okay, like Diva said, it's okay, you know. And I have to keep reminding her, I'm not the 21-year-old in college. And yesterday I said 20-year-old. I'm not 20. I'm 20-something year old. No, but I have to keep reminding her, like, no, that's not what I'm on right now. You know what I mean? It's like we're on two different levels, and it's just like, I don't mind going out partying, but I'm really trying to, you know, do some things in my life.
Different.
So it's like, it's okay to let go of some people for sure. Roy here, yay!
That's true.
So Miss True Kelly,
thank you so much
someone asked me this before, right? But it's gonna be, I feel like it's gonna be a little bit difficult for me to do a YouTube book club, but maybe I'll try. I have to think about that, because we truly read our books, right? I have now, because my life is so busy, I do most of my books on Audible, and I listen to the books. And then when we get together once a month, a matter of fact, I'll show you pictures, because this Sunday we're having our end of the season party, and we always wear the same pajamas. Matter of fact, one day I'm gonna show you, like, you know, our previous pajamas that we wore, and you know, just so you can see us. But we always wear the same pajamas, and like, we have so much fun. We read the book, we discuss the book, and then sometimes authors actually come to our meeting, and we get to talk to them about their book. So you know, the book club, like we are an active for real book club. Like, we don't play. And that, when I went to the Sherry Shepherd show the other day, it was with my book club. So we do every year we do an outing to like a talk show. We do stuff together. We have a movie day together. And that's another thing I want to share with people, because remember I told you, we're meant to be with people. We're meant to be loving people, hugging people, being around each other. So whatever you can do, even if it's only 2 or 3 of you, right? Start a little club of something you like. And all of this helps you have something to look forward to, something to kind of live for, something to do. And on that Sunday when we meet once a month, I even tell my son, and I love him with everything in me. This Sunday, you don't, unless you got hit by 17 cars, you need a heart transplant. Don't call me. This is my moment. Like, do
Can
not
I ask
call
you
me.
how you found your book club, Diva? Like, how did that come about? Like, how did you find it?
Everybody started kind of with me, and it started with most I'm gonna say 4 of my people from when I worked in the hospital in the pediatric unit. My girlfriend Tara, and then she brought in my girlfriend Malika. You know, so but a lot of them are connected to me. My girlfriend Brenda. So, you know, all of them, like, a lot of them were connected to me, but then out of the connection, they brought somebody that they knew. But like Malika reminded me, we was 12 strong. 12 strong. But like, she moved away. So yes, but we are for real. We're not a jokey joke with this book club. We do our thing. We
I
do our
love
thing.
the idea of the book club. I am like one of the main hosts for my girlfriends and girls nights. Okay, I love the latest spread because I cook and everything. And we usually have like a drink theme, and sometimes we do like pajama parties. Or sometimes we'll build it around a movie.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
That's
Well, ever since we've been going through all of what we've been going through together as a country, you know, it's gotten lessened, but we're really like talking about getting back into it or whatever, because they're like, Nick, you got your channel, so like you can vlog it or whatever. But we really have good girlfriend conversation. Like it's like
yeah, it's fun. We gotta be more community again, like back in the day. Dr. Love, I'm coming to you. I don't know. Y'all probably not gonna be able to see. I'm not trying. I'm gonna get my computer this weekend so I can start sharing uploads. But I'm gonna try. Can I put it close? Y'all probably can't see. Can y'all
Yeah,
see?
we can see. That's
my two.
cute.
That's my two sisters are in that picture and my cousin. But I'm gonna try to show you a picture from my book club. But let me come to you, Dr. Love. Roy, I'm glad you're in the building. Smoke, I'm glad you're here. Roy, do you have to run?
I do have to run. I just
Okay,
wanted
so
to
let me let
stop
you share
in.
before Dr. Love. So go ahead. I'm sorry, Dr. Love, but hang in there with me. I'm coming back to you. But go ahead, Roy.
I'm sorry, Dr. Love, you know I love you.
Love you
But
too.
hello to everybody. I just wanted to stop in and say, like I said in the chat earlier, Diva, thank you for this platform. Thank you for giving all of us the opportunity to be able to share and help each other. I've been kind of in and out listening, and y'all have just putting in some great things in the atmosphere and saying some very positive, uplifting things. So I know that we are all helping someone tonight. I just want to say we kind of talked a little bit earlier, Diva and Curves, about you know, what happened with Twitch and just our thoughts and opinions. And I really kind of thought about it, and I really think that going through C19, there were a lot of us who were alone, but there were a lot of us who were also in the home with people, but still mentally alone and emotionally alone. And so we really have to get to a place where we're dealing with that mental and emotional aloneness, because you can be in a room full of people and still be absolutely just alone and void and missing something in you. So, like, I know y'all been talking about it. I am the prince of therapy, 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 therapy. I have been through 3 or 4 therapists just throughout the time of my life. And that is very important. If you can't afford therapy, really honestly, just reaching out to people. Um, I always tell people that you have to learn how to build relationships and build connections with people. If someone reaches out to you, you know, the phone works both ways. You got to go back and forth with people. You have to reach for relationships so that relationships reach to you, and really reach for valuable relationships that really sustain you and feed you positive things, you know, and then also doing your own self work, you know. The therapist can tell you what to do. I can tell you what to do. Diva can tell you what to do. We can all sit on here and tell you what to do. But until you actually apply the work for yourself, which I am a witness of right now, applying the work for myself and actually seeing the fruits of my labor, until then, you will not get to that place of wholeness that you want to be in. And Diva, just like you were saying in your video, trouble don't last always. Don't focus so much on the small issues. There is a bigger picture that you have to look at. Sometimes you have to stand back and just look at the big picture of it all. Don't be so focused on the little insecurities and the little issues and the small entrapments of life that will try to take you out. So everybody just love one another, show light and love. Diva, thank you for the light and love that you are shining and showing to us all. Nadi, you know I love you. Dr. Love, Smoke, it's so good to see you. Shan, Diva, and everybody in the chat. I love y'all so much.
Love you back.
Love you
Thank
back,
you, Roy.
Roya.
Love you, Roya.
Hearts, 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 Royer.
Yes,
Yes.
Love
yes,
y'all.
yes.
Hugs,
And
hugs.
so, Dr. Love, it's your turn. What do you want to share?
Okay. I would first like to start off with um reminding people that the brain is very complex. And with the brain being very complex, we have to understand these things and also care for our brain, even though our brain is mostly for emotions and things like that. And when I mean care for our brain, I mean the mental component of it. To say
Mhm.
that um, every day we should be doing some type of meditation, some type of yoga, even if you have to cry that day, if you have to pray that day. All of these things are truly good for your brain. um, and just to speak on Twitch, I am really sorry, or apologize about what happened to him. And I do think that we do need to wait and see what happened or what
Mhm.
was the cause, before I guess we as the media, because we're part of the media too, start putting things out there. Because one thing, families do look at social media and things
Yeah.
can be hurting. And just to see certain things come out that is so left field can hurt as well.
Mhm.
And then I would say too, this is part of my profession. And the main thing with therapy, with psychologists, there is a stigma, and that stigma has to be released. And
Mhm.
also, there needs to be more understanding of what it is that a psychologist do. And the fact that a psychologist will help you through life, not just give you medication, or not just how could I say, talk to you or diagnose you, things like that. And I just wanted to put that out there to say that do not be ashamed to go see a therapist. Do not be ashamed to go see a psychologist. If it was left up to me, um, when I was in school, I kind of tried to advocate for it to be mandatory. It's mandatory for us women to get OBGYN checkups and get physicals. Why can
Mm.
we not be mandated to do a check-in with a therapist or a psychologist, to say, hey, this month or this year I'm feeling depressed because of this, or hey, my mom died this year, my grandmom died this year. um, I think that's something that truly needs to be looked into. Also, medication. I believe it was Robin who brought up the medication.
Mhm.
So for our children who is under 27 taking SSDIs, we have to be very careful because some medication does cause
S.
S
Mm-hmm.
idolization. Not just saying it's the SSDIs either,
Mm.
that causes that. And if you are on medication, the medication do not work for you within 2 weeks, 30 days. Do not be afraid to say to your psychologist, this is not working. Do you have something else? Can we try something else?
Advocate for
All
yourself. Advocate. Yes.
Yes, all they can say is yes, hey, let's try this, hey, let's try that. So if
Mhm.
something is not working or giving you these thoughts or even giving your children these thoughts, do not be afraid to say this is not working for me. Um Another point, I feel like C19 did play a big part on a lot of individuals mental.
Mhm. Mhm.
They talked about the side, I'll say the component of it, giving you a fever, giving you coughs, giving you this, but no one talked about what it did to the brain.
Mm.
And to this day, I know it done something to the brain and to a lot of people,
Mhm.
and especially our children. I remember them not being in school. It was a show. It was a S show. I
Mhm.
don't want to cuss. Um, and I'm just, for each one of you who have been through so much, continue to go to therapy, continue to talk to a therapist, psychologist, even though there's fees, there's whatever. People have sliding scales. Do not be afraid to call someone and say, hey, I really need to talk to you, and this is what I have. Um,
Mhm.
because they are out here to help, more than anything. We take an oath to do no harm.
Mhm.
So um, so just don't be afraid. And I know a lot of you guys grew up Nadia, I believe you said that you grew up, and a lot of us grew up in families where, you know, seeing a therapist, psychologist, you're crazy, talk to me, talk to so and so. But the one thing is, they don't have that education, they don't have the professionalism to give you coping skills to walk you through life and through certain things that is beyond just the everyday say so.
Having a roof over your head and having a job.
You're supposed to put up and shut up.
Because there's families like that. You have a roof over your head, you have a job, you're healthy. What would you be depressed about?
Why are you worried about?
Right.
When
I also make the point of you have to vet your therapist too, or whoever, whether it's a psychologist, you have to go through a vetting process, just like you do with a relationship. Okay.
Exactly.
It's very important to go on, look at the reviews, see what they specialize in, and things like that. Not every therapist is for you.
Right.
You have to find the right one that can address your issues, and you
that's another great point, Nadi. That's another great point. I'm glad that you mentioned that. If you and your therapist is not a good fit, you're not going to hurt your therapist or psychologist's feelings. You're not. They will even refer you out, or I'll tell you they are supposed to refer you out. All you have to say to them is, hey, I don't think we're a good fit. Do you know anyone else who really specialize, let's say, in anxiety or schizophrenia? Because everybody don't specialize in everything. So if you, like you said, Nani, if it's not a good fit, you can even say that to the therapist or psychologist. They 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 will not have no hard feelings at all.
Yeah. So yes, that's good tips, everybody. You're not, you just because you found a therapist, if you feel that person, go with your instinct. If
Yes.
you think you and that therapist are not connecting, you don't have to know the reason. Just find yourself another one and be
Yes.
out and be safe. Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Love. I want to come to Smoke. Give me 1 minute, and then Tiffany, I'll come to you. But I don't
Okay.
know again. Can y'all see there? Can y'all see? It's like messy there. I don't think y'all can
It's
see.
a little glary, Diva,
It's a
but
little glary, right? Oh, because
yeah,
you know what? It went dark. Hold on 1 second.
that's better.
Aw.
Oh, that's so cute. I love
Yeah.
this Black
We
Jammy.
don't play no games.
Aw.
We don't play games.
No
Okay. So
jokey joke.
this year, that's right. This year our pajamas are navy with a white piping. So I will definitely put pictures on my community page because it's this Sunday. And listen, don't judge me because I'm gonna have to squeeze in my pajamas. But anywho, I'm squeezing in my pajamas. Smoke, I'm
Oh,
coming to you. What would you like to add to this conversation?
Hello everyone. Sorry, I'm parking my car so I can be situated. Can you hear me?
Yes.
yes.
I definitely, condolences to DJ Twitch, his family and whatnot. I have been where he has been twice, literally.
Mm,
And so, I mean, well, I haven't. I mean, I've been close, but I haven't like gone on
mm-hmm.
like we have to really, and specifically in the Black community, encourage more therapy and counseling because there's a lot of us who are
Yes.
walking around with unvoiced trauma and
Trauma.
Mm,
circumstances that leads to not only us having mental challenges and issues, but issues with high blood pressure, diabetes, with our hearts,
Mm-hmm.
all those different things. Like though,
Mm-hmm.
if you're trauma and you don't voice it, it will
Mm-hmm.
manifest in other ways where you have to deal with it or it's too late. And so
Right.
I'm always
Right.
going to be a proponent of encouraging people to speak those things out into the ether because it could lead to your health declining just at a
Mm-hmm.
an undisclosed rate, and it's just slower. But yeah, like even just yeah, just being kinder to one another. Like I know we like to throw shade and have a good time and be fun, have fun. But just
Mm-hmm.
like if you like feel like someone like is like really just like acting out in ways that are weird, let's at least try to give them the benefit of doubt. Like, something may be going on with them that, is causing them to behave the way that they behave. And just like, forgive each other easily and let the small stuff go. Like, it's honestly not any of us can be gone tomorrow. And I'll even just say this for me, like my mom, she jokes with me a lot. She's like, my Achilles heel is that I give people the benefit of doubt, or I give them too many chances. I'm looking like, because I wouldn't think that people would abuse my genuineness, but that's okay. I've reached a point in my life that I do not regret the love that I have given out to others and what it did for them, whether they were using it or not. That's for them to deal with their maker or the universe. But just to really just like live in your joy, whatever that is, and just like go after the things that may scare you, or just like don't be afraid to reach out to someone. Or hey, if you haven't heard from someone, it's okay if you're always the one reaching out, sometime making that call, because you never know what people may be going through that they don't tell us. But that phone call or that text can be something that saves someone's life, or gives them that lifeline to just hang on for another day. It's whatever they're facing. So just like, just lead with love, and whatever it is, like we're all having a hard time in our own individual lives. So why not, pick someone up and advance together?
Look at it. I like that last sentence. Pick someone up and advance together. Yes, I love that. You know what, Smoke? Thank you for coming up. Thank you for your words. Thank you, everybody, for feeling that it's a safe place to share. Yes, lead with love. Yes, a lot of good tidbits in there. I love it. Live in your joy. Yes. So, I met Smoke through YouTube. And you never know what right? But I'm kind of like you, Smoke. Like sometimes maybe we too trusting to a fault. But I'm glad that I trusted you, because we met through YouTube. We met in the city. We went to the Sherry Show Shepherd together. We
Had a
had lunch
good
together.
time.
Y'all
We
should have
had
invited me.
we had a ball. We had a good time together. And listen, I know the world is crazy, and you definitely have to be safe. So I don't want anybody to get too crazy out there. But be safe within reason. But also, when you have the opportunity to let someone new into your life and meet someone, maybe take the opportunity and see, because you never know where it may go. Lead with love. I like that. Thank you, Shan. Hashtag lead with love.
Well,
Okay.
Smoke said it
Um,
first. I was just reiterating
yeah,
it.
I know you did, but you
No, y'all
you
can
put it in
have
the
it. Y'all can
chat
have the
though. You put the
handles for all of
hashtag in the
us.
chat. Yes, thank you, Smoke. Wait, let me see, and then I'm coming to you, Tiffany. Yes, Steve. I keep telling people the first 10 minutes of the news is all bad. Yes, I had to stop watching regularly, especially early morning. I stopped,
I
and
Yes.
let
had
me
to
tell
stop
you
watching the
something.
news, and I had to stop watching the ID channel. Diva, it was not good for my mind.
True crime.
No, me. I used to watch Dateline, Nightline, 2020. My therapist told me knock it off. I
I watch
even
those
had to
now.
stop, and it killed me because I loved it. I had to stop watching those Lifetime movies.
No,
'Cause-
me too. My therapist, that's the he's like, you got to filter out what you're intaking.
yes,
And and even like when you're sleeping, if the TV's on, you're still
yep,
absorbing that information. Taraji P. Henson, she gave a whole press conference. She's been open about her depression, and she said, the news is a trigger for a lot of people.
yes, it is.
People need
Yes,
to
it is.
acknowledge that.
Yeah, it's terrible, but yes, and actually, this one other person said garbage in, garbage out. Like it's too much, right? You gotta filter what you take in. Tiffany, thanks for being here. What do you want to add to this conversation?
Oh, I just wanted to hop on and say I am so I love the panel. I am so glad because I'm listening to this show and I cried earlier because I'm kind of going through something myself and listening to everybody's story. And I live in like the Pacific Northwest, and around this time it rains a lot. It's dark early. I can't drive in the dark, so I'm always at home, and I work from home. So
Mm.
It gets bad around this time and worse as you get older. And so hearing everybody's story about therapy and stuff, I'm like, I need to get my behind in some therapy because it's just bad. I
Okay,
don't
because
leave the house.
that too happened to me. Like with working from home, I was working from home before the C-19. Okay, I
Mm,
have been working from home for already like 5 years already. So when it happened, because of my
Right.
hours, it
Mhm.
made it worse. My isolation, and I was comfortable not communicating with people. That's not healthy for my depression. Like, but I was avoiding people to avoid conflict
Yeah.
and things like
Oh
that.
my God, that is what I am going through right now. I don't
Yeah,
even have a
but then
dude anymore
the
because I
balance of
don't
the
I
work
don't want
life
pressure to
and
get
the
come
home
out
life, it
the
all
house.
collided when C-19 happened. Because now I got my kid home going to school. I'm trying to balance school, work. It became overwhelming for me. I can admit it. Like, I'm not no teacher.
Right.
Wait, hold
Yeah.
on, Nadi. Hold on,
Well, what
Nadi.
did you?
Go
What can
ahead,
I ask
finish,
you, ma'am? What can I
finish,
ask her?
finish.
What did you do? What
Yes.
What are you doing to get out of this? Because I'm in a funk right now,
I
and
signed up
I
for
ain't combed my hair in
therapy.
5 days
No, I
or my
signed up for
dress.
therapy to get myself help because I knew I wasn't right. Like, my emotional intelligence was declining because of it. And I had to recognize it. It started affecting my work. It started affecting my communication with my children and just my normal everyday friends, because I was so closed in. But for you to acknowledge it, that's the first step. But I just had to acknowledge it, and then I started to get the help for those issues. You know what I mean? From being isolated
Mm-hmm.
so much. Like,
Yeah.
girl made me even more insulated, because now I really can't go
Ooh.
visit my family, my friends, or anything like that.
Mm-mm.
But I had to admit I had some stunt in my growth and my emotional intelligence because of it. I had to admit it. And then
Right.
I was able I knew what I needed to tell the therapist so I can
So
get
that
help.
the therapist can help you. So hold on
Yeah.
one
Well,
second.
after
Fast
listening to
K
y'all, I'm
said,
about to find me a therapist. I got good insurance, so it ain't no reason for
Use
me.
it.
But
You pay a lot
yes,
of money. You pay a
yes,
lot of money
mhm.
per year. Use it.
yes,
Yes,
yes. Hold
ma'am.
on one second, guys. Saske, my expensive gym and trainer forced me out the house. I also work from home one day in the office. Work from home is a blessing and a curse, isn't it? It's a blessing because you save a lot of money, you save a lot of time. You're not in the hustle and bustle of traffic, so to speak, and just trying to get to work and get back home. It's like you got back time, but then you miss out that time and those moments that you have with your coworkers, able to interact. Even if you're interacting with people that are at your local coffee shop or whatever. So some things that I did during C-19. First of all, I told my son, do not watch the TV. I don't want to hear about how many people are leaving, how many people are sick, how many cases they got going on right now. And when I finished working, what I would do was I told him all the time, I would tell him, be ready. Be ready at 5 o'clock. We went on a tour out in the world, and the streets was empty. It was almost like a movie set. But every morning, literally, we would Google and find what Starbucks was still open because they had some open during the pandemic, right?
Mhm.
We would drive an hour, a half hour just to get Starbucks, but I was getting it to keep his mental right so that he wasn't stuck in the house all day. Like he knew every morning he was about to drive to Starbucks and come back home. And then I told him, don't come to me with any numbers. I'm not watching. I don't care. The only time I want to know is when we can leave out this house again freely. That's it. But we constantly went different places, like to stores that were open, but only to keep our mental right. So that's what I did with him. So to you, Tiffany, I want to say, and you know what? I'm really super glad we did this live. And I'm
Mhm.
glad because if anybody gets anything out of this, is therapy is okay. Go to therapy. Yes. Yes, Diva. Remember you, yes, I used
I
to
think
walk
Diva, I
together.
felt like what's her name? She's always on your show. She was talking earlier about how she didn't think it was gonna work, and that's why I kind of how I kind of felt and why I haven't pursued it, but I mean, everybody on the panel is saying yes, it does work. You know,
It
I
does.
was
It
so
does.
yeah.
I'm telling you, sister. It does. It helps keep all this chaos around me in order. It helps keeps me sane. And because it's not someone that's directly involved with my life, they're neutral. It helps me rationalize a lot of my thoughts because part of my
Mhm.
depression that gets me to that place is I have these racing thoughts and I illuminate on things that I cannot resolve really, but it worries me. What's going to be the outcome? And I get fixated on, okay, well, what if this happened? And what in all these different scenarios, but therapy helps me talk through that thought process. And
Okay.
so what I do is I keep a journal on the side of my bed, and whenever like I feel like my thoughts are racing or anything, I go in my journal and I write it down or whatever. Because this is what I'm gonna talk about with the therapist next time we go.
Mhm.
And this
Yeah.
is what's been happening or whatever, and then they help you kind of work through that thought process neutrally. They don't have no judgment. They just
Mm.
there to
Well,
help
can I
you work
ask you
through that
this?
thought.
Okay, so somebody in my household yesterday, by the way, said that I'm messing up the energy. I'm running around here moping around and it's causing bad energy in the house. And I'm like, well, I don't want this to happen. Like, come on, I'm depressed. Like,
But
come
you have to
on.
remember
So
that's
let
their
me just let
opinion.
me jump in for 1 second and let me say
Mhm.
this, Tiffany. You know, there's a book, A Man Is As He Thinketh. So what I and listen, we do have our dark moments. We do have moments where we're sad, and it's
Mhm.
okay to have those moments. But sort of like in a way, it's like tricking your mind until you get there. You know,
Mhm.
as much as you can lessen the words of I'm sad. You look in the mirror and say, I'm happy, I'm good, all is well, everything's going to be fine. You kind of do those affirmations, right? So, literally, a video from YouTube every morning, every night. I do a video, a meditation video from YouTube. That way, you don't have to think, you don't have to figure out what I got to do. If you Google meditation at night, 10 minutes, I do like a short one, right? Because that way I'll get through it.
Is that on your
Sometimes I
channel?
even no, 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 no. I utilize people's stuff. If you literally,
Oh.
if you put in the Google search right now, 10-minute meditation for
YouTube.
Mhm.
nighttime, it'll come up. It'll be meditations like, do you want money? Do you want to be happy? Do you want to do this? You can do 10 minutes on the a meditation. I do one in the morning. I do one at night. But this is me. Like I said, I don't want to push my
Mhm.
life on anybody. I pray in the
Mhm.
morning. I pray at night. I pray during the middle of the day, right? But when I do these meditations, it calms me. And the other thing is, if you listen to, I got to think of this other guru. He's all about mind and health. When I think of it, I'll probably put it on my community page for tomorrow, right? But they say everything, there's a process that you can do. And it's just talking yourself through it, right? Where everything that happened during the day, you release it before you go to sleep, right? And then let's just say
Mm.
you had something negative happen to you during the day, play it
Mhm.
back in your mind like it went well. You got to get all of that bad juju and energy out of you before you lay yourself to bed, because what happens is it will be wreaking havoc while you sleep. So you
Mm.
release it. You know what? Like, and then day two, like say me and Nadi had a problem, right, during the day. And it's bothering me, the argument that we have. There's several things I can do. And now, what we're fortunate that we got this technology, right? I could just text her and say, I apologize, right?
Mhm.
It doesn't matter if the person accept your apology or not. It's the fact that you releasing it. You
Mhm.
corrected what happened throughout the day. Or
Mm-hmm.
you can simply be at home and you rethink that thing in a good way. Or you also, there's a process of where you release it. There's also on
Mhm.
YouTube, they call it a tapping method. I did all of this stuff and it worked, right? It's a
Mhm.
tapping method that they do where and there's stuff you say and you do here and you do here and you do. It's this tapping method, but it's all about you releasing the bad energy. But I will say a good first step for you would be get a
Mhm.
therapist. Listen, we got the insurance. You got the insurance. Get that therapist. I'm gonna let you in, Nadi, because I know you want to say something.
Can I
Let me
tag
just
you on your comments, Diva? Also,
Huh? Yes.
exercise. Exercise is so
I gotta get
important
back in
Yes.
there.
for your mental health. I don't care if you walk for 15 minutes, especially because you work from home. I started
Yes.
dog setting dogs to get me out to walk or whatever.
That's
Because
a good point, Nani.
Mhm.
A very good point. Exercise. So Malika said, remember, Diva, we used to walk together on Saturday, even during C19. That was good for us mentally, physically, and emotionally. So that's tagging to your point, Nani. Exercise. And it don't have to be, don't get yourself crazy. Now, let me tell you what exercise mental health experts love. Yoga. It's something about yoga, and I didn't read up all on it yet, but it's something
Yes.
about yoga that
Yes.
mentally, physically, and
Please.
everything helps
especially
you
hot
out.
yoga. Hot
Do
yoga
you
Yes.
do
is
yoga?
the best.
Huh?
Yes.
Do you do yoga?
Yes.
Yes.
And listen,
Hot
and
Yes.
let me tell
yoga.
you, Tiffany, I do everything because sometimes we work ourselves up over money. No, I will walk outside. Let me tell you what stopped me walking outside because I ran into a deer one time and I thought I was gonna die. And then one time I saw a fox and I said, this is the devil, okay? I can't do this, right? But I do Google on YouTube. The only thing if you don't have the YouTube premium, you commercials are in there. But I'm still
Mhm.
very old school. Don't laugh at me, guys. I still have a DVD player and I still have DVDs. Like I will do a DVD, yoga, Pilates, all of that. Yes, I love walking in the park. It's so serene. Now, this is my last crazy moment I'm gonna have for y'all. There are
Can I
people
just tell
out
you this? I
there.
can't walk outside. There's coyotes around my house,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I ain't get.
and I
That's
don't
what
want to
I'm
run into
saying.
one of
Yeah, that's what I ain't trying to do either. I ain't mad at you, but let me say this too. There's something that they say with your bare feet on the ground, the earth. There's a
Grounding.
whole lot of information on that too. Just look
Yes.
it up. But it's
Yes.
Grounding. It's
something.
called
Grounding.
grounding, Diva. You're right.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's
that's what
called
it's called.
grounding.
Thank you guys. Yes, I didn't know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
Wait, what
something
was it
about it.
called?
It's called
What
Grounding.
was
grounding.
grounding?
So
Connecting
when
with
you
the
Okay.
earth.
walk in your bare feet in like a nice clean slate of grass, like if
Connecting
you're
with the
going
Hmm.
earth.
hiking,
Mm.
anything, become one with the earth. I believe in this. It resets
Hmm.
your energy. Okay. Sometimes you just need to put your bare feet and your skin to the ground so you can feel that energy, but it has to
Right.
be in a pure place. I usually do it like if I'm going hiking somewhere or something like that. I'll take
Hmm.
my shoes off and just walk in the ground, just pace through the grass, and you'll be surprised what it
Hmm.
does for your energy.
You could do it right outside your door. I
Yes.
Yeah.
I do it right outside my door after they cut my grass. I go out in
Mm-hmm.
my
Oh,
flip
that's a good
flops
idea.
That's a
and
good idea.
and
Fresh
you
start.
yeah,
There's
Fresh
you
also
just
breath.
Reiki.
walk.
Mm.
Hmm.
Hugging a tree helps
Mm.
too, as far as like grounding out, hugging trees
Uh-huh.
is
Oh
actually
yeah.
helps
Yes.
too.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, we got, yes,
Become
looking at
one
them
with
on. Thank you,
earth.
Tony.
And that's what I think our culture has gotten away from. Like
That's true. Is
like
yoga. Hmm.
just doing things naturally.
Mm,
Everything doesn't have to be a quick fix. It's
right.
okay to
Hmm.
do things the long way sometimes. Growing your vegetables. Like one of my soothing things, I love gardening. I love digging in the dirt without gloves, but it's something that soil does to my skin and my psyche. It just relaxes me. The ocean does the same thing for me too.
Oh,
I love
yes.
the beach, like and
And
smelling that
fire.
fresh air. It's just like a restart, a revibrate of
Hmm.
myself. It helps me become one and centered.
Yep. And fire too. You staring at fire.
Right.
That's a huge mental.
And
Mm.
fish,
Hmm.
I like fish are good soothing method, nigga. Like watching them in
Hmm.
the tank and stuff like that. I bought me a little fishy. It was a little crazy fishy, but I was like, I want to extend my family, so I want to fish, okay? And the dollar store was selling them, and
That was dope. The
Pinky
fish.
Pinky brings me so much joy when I go in there to feed her in the morning. Like, hey, Pinky, and she starts fluttering her little fins and stuff like
Ah,
that. But
she's
it
like, I love mama. She's like, I love mama. So yes,
it
remember
takes
Granny
me
used
out
to
of
garden.
that negative space.
Yeah.
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 Remember Granny used
I
to
saw.
garden and Granny was a root woman. She knew those herbs. Yeah. So listen, guys, I mean, just an amazing conversation. I think maybe I am doing it won't be, I don't know what day it's going to be, but I am going to do like a end of the year show where I just want us to kind of speak into existence everything that we want. Well, not everything, we'll name one
Manifest.
thing that we kind of want for 2023 for ourselves, and we'll have more conversations like these, and we'll also, you know, recommend a book maybe or two that can help us all just get our mental health and our life together, because health is wealth. You can have all the money in the world, but if you're sick as a dog, or you know, mentally or physically, you know, you can't do anything. So again, to all of those that are out there kind of suffering and struggling, my prayers and heart are with y'all. But I think, you know what the theme from tonight is, and who would have known, is hashtag therapy. Don't
Let's
be afraid.
normalize therapy. Let's
Normalize
normalize
therapy.
therapy.
Yes, don't be afraid. Check with your insurance tomorrow. Don't play
I
around.
It's
Check with your
okay.
insurance tomorrow
already
and
have a
get.
referral. I just never acted on it,
Oh, come
Oh
on
but I'm
my
now.
God,
going to.
Tiffany,
And
Tiffany,
if you
the
don't
next
have,
time you come through, you better tell us you have a therapist.
Okay, now you're putting pressure on me, so now I am.
Yep.
Yes,
I'm
it's
just
putting the
because I
pressure
did
on
it.
you.
I did
And
it.
Tiffany, do you have my email address?
No, I don't.
I
Is
thought
it?
it was on this
But let me
thing.
ask you this: you mentioned a motivational speaker that really inspired you. You said his name. Did you put it in the chat?
No, I
Al
didn't. It's
Walker.
Dr. Wayne Dyer.
or don't,
Al
What, DYER or
Yeah, let me
DIRE?
okay, so that's my email. I'm putting my email in there. Email me.
Okay.
Let me Google him right now.
We take care of our physical health. We have to take care of our mental health too.
Okay, so yes we do. So Dr. Wayne
Mhm.
Dyer, I'll put it on the community page because you're not going to be able to see my
Okay.
phone. But I
Okay.
mean, he has so many great books. Secrets of Manifesting. Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life.
right.
I must have read that book several times. Oh my goodness. And this is facts here. You change your thoughts. Thank you guys. Thank you, Miss True Kelly. Love you. You change your thoughts, you will change your life.
Yep.
And that's facts.
Mm.
That's facts.
And
And
that's facts.
you don't
Yes.
have to go to a physical therapist. You can do it virtually too.
Right.
Yes.
Oh
I
So if
tell
you
yeah.
don't
people a
want to,
new
but
thing
it's good
about
to get out
therapy
the house,
now.
but you can do it also
Teletherapy is
virtually.
great.
Yep.
I was going to mention for the people that don't have health insurance, your county has resources also, and so might your state. So I would say check there also if you
Hmm.
don't have that
Yeah.
good
You
insurance.
do not have to
Thank,
feel
thank you,
bad. You do
Curse.
not have to
Thank you,
feel bad.
Curse.
You do
Yes.
not have to feel
Um,
unwell.
so DGF 627, the late Dr. Wayne Dyer had many specials on PBS. Some may be on YouTube. A lot are on YouTube. Just Google him. I'm
Okay,
telling
I
you,
will.
this man saved my life. One of his most favorite books is Living in the Now. I promise you. I promise you. Even when I mess up early in the day, I freaking let it go. It happened. It is what it is.
You
Like, you know
human.
what
Mhm.
I
Cut
mean?
yourself some
Yes.
No,
slack.
but before there was a point in my life where I would replay it, I would get so mad. I'd be like, why did I do that? What did I do? How can I fix it? Whatever, whatever. It
Yes.
happened. I let it go. I'm like, I'm done. Just like, I know, and everybody, they're not vicious. Like a lot of people, they mean well and they're telling you their coping mechanism. But even when I got robbed the other day, right?
Hmm.
I was in it that moment, and then I had to freaking let it go. I don't have a lock on my phone because I can't be bothered. I'm putting one on now, but I can't be bothered every second. You put in a code to get in your
Right.
phone. Like
Hmm.
it drives me bananas. So I didn't have a lock on my phone. So when they got my phone, they got my phone. But if I kept thinking about everything that they was able to see, my pictures, my this and that, it was making me sick. And I finally had to say, you know what? I can't do nothing. I gotta let it go.
Let it
Let it
go.
go.
And Diva, this may work or not work for it, but I
Uh-huh.
give myself a day to be like, if I'm upset about something, I give myself one day to vent, go off about it, And when I wake up that next day, I gotta let it go.
Done.
And that's my rule.
That's a good
That's a
timeline.
Can
good
I
rule
say one
too.
thing, Diva?
Yes, of course.
You had me cracking up about your pajama pictures because guess what? You know, I work from home, so I don't ever go nowhere. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to take myself shopping and get some clothes because, I
That's
mean,
right.
you know, it's a new season. I came back with 5 pairs of pajamas. Onesie.
Cause
My
we always
onesie is my
home.
favorite. My onesie is my favorite.
Yeah,
It's so
Look, we're
warm.
always home. Look, I love when I plan to go out because I can actually get dressed, right? Like I actually completely. So I always, whenever I go, I don't care where I go. I'm coming dressed to the nines, okay?
Yep. Same.
I can't. I think I
Listen,
got to get a
so
little bit
listen,
cute.
guys. I love y'all. I'm about to
Okay.
close out. Leslie,
Okay.
yes, but thank God, Leslie, it wasn't my physical body. I went to the gym and I had left my bag in my car. And this a brand new car. I didn't even pay the first car note yet. Darn people. Brand new car, had it 2 weeks.
Mm.
And it took me forever. My previous car I had for 13 years. Like I'm not one that I gotta buy a new car all the time. Listen, if
As
the
long as
car
you
could
take
get
care of
me
it,
there,
it'll last.
what if the car could get me there, I'm good. So it took me all that time, had my car 2 weeks, and they broke into it, broke the back window, stole my bag. It was sad, everything was in my bag, but you know what, God is good. I didn't walk up on these people doing it. I'm still here. I'm
I thank
recovering
God for
all
you,
my
Diva.
IDs and stuff. You
Thank you
know,
for
it
being
is
here.
what it
Oh
is.
God.
And yeah,
Yeah.
so
You
listen guys,
Diva
survived.
is
this
not
was
stopping nothing.
right. They not dirty little scoundrels. But listen, guys. Listen, guys. Oh, and listen. So I'm gonna have two pictures to show y'all after the holidays. One is gonna be my pajamas with my book club, and the other is gonna be my pajamas with my family because I had to beat them down. They was like, "We're not wearing those pajamas." I'm like, "Yes, you
Yes, you
are. You are. We're wearing the pajamas,
are.
okay?" And my mom was like, I'm not going outside some pajamas. I said, Mom, you are. You're gonna put the pajamas on and we're going to church in our pajamas. So, but
That's
you
so
know,
awesome.
she gonna be all right. But listen, guys, I had an amazing night with y'all tonight. I want to say, everybody, if there's anyone out there that you're thinking or you were thinking that this is it, we pray to God. We pray to God that your soul is touched and you understand that joy cometh in the morning. This too shall pass.
Yeah, but that's
You
my
don't
mom's
This
have
favorite
too shall
to
song.
pass.
what? You
Yes.
do not have to think that this is the end all be all. If you are still breathing, you got another chance to recover. Listen, you can always make money.
Mm-hmm.
Make it
Listen,
back.
I promise you this. I don't care what degree I have or don't have. If the bottom falls out, I'm not opposed to working at McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Target, Walmart. People have to understand. Don't put yourself so high up in these
Mm-hmm.
pressures, and then that was works on you too, right? Oh, you thinking I can't go back over here? Like, listen, next guest. I know what. Okay, I can humble myself and I'm okay. And listen, a roof over your head is a roof over your head. If the roof is a studio apartment, it's covering your head. Okay. Get yourself an air mattress and a blanket, and you're going to be good to go. And my friends can tell you, I promise you this, in my adulthood, I had to start from zero. When I say zero, I mean zero. When I first came in here, where I'm sitting at right now in this house right here, I did not have a piece of furniture, a piece of furniture. My sister gave me an air mattress for myself. My girlfriend gave me an air mattress for my son. And when I tell you I was in a dark space, I was in a dark space because my son came from where a home where he had everything, his TV, his game, his bed, his dress, all that. Then he had to come to this with our air mattresses. And so you put all this stuff in your head and you can work yourself up and get yourself into a bad state. But you know what? My therapist, I promise you this. My therapist told me, do you have a roof over your head? I said yes, and I'm boohoo crying, right? He was like, do you have food? I said yes. he said, and you have your own house. I said, yes, right? He said, well, you better go in there and live your life and not worried about the fact that you ain't got no furniture or whatever else, okay? I got my whole life together, and to God be the glory. Everything I need is right here in this house. Okay.
Let's
So
give
let
you
me tell you
lemons.
guys, yes, yes, never be ashamed. Come on, Leslie. Never be ashamed to start from scratch. Never be ashamed
Okay.
to humble yourself. If you got to work at Target, be the best employee at Target. And trust me, everything you want, it will eventually come.
And now
I
you
love
got
you.
chandeliers. Okay.
Girl,
Period.
let me tell you something.
Period.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna take pictures of my chandeliers. And let me tell you, I do not live, this is I'm telling y'all facts here, okay? It's not like I live in some prestigious development or neighborhood or gated community. I do not even have a driveway. I have a parking space. But I'm going to take pictures and show y'all that I took every regular light down out of this house, and this girl got chandeliers, okay? This is a
That's
little mini
right.
mansion.
That's right.
She
Well,
got chandeliers,
your
right?
kitchen is wonderful. I see
Huh?
that them cabinets looking like they cost some money over there. I'm about to try to redo my
I
Let
kitchen.
really
me
think,
let me tell you.
Diva, I really think you're a true testament of when life throws you lemons, you make lemonade. And
Right.
people, that's
Definitely.
what people have to look at the vision, okay?
Yes,
Yo, you could lose all your money, but you could get that money back.
And
you
it's
can
not
get
how
that
you
back.
start.
You can't get your life back. That's not
Yeah.
Yes,
replaceable.
yes, yes. And you right, Shan. It's not how you start, it's how you
How you
finish.
How you
finish.
And let me
finish.
tell you, my girlfriend that was in the book club that passed away, she came to this house with me, right? When it was this carpet down, it was these ugly floors. Her, my other girlfriend, two other girlfriends, they came in here with me because I was watching too much HGTV. We pulled up these rugs, we banged up these floors. It's a story we'll tell later. But anyway, guys, the point is hashtag therapy,
That's
hashtag call your
right.
insurance tomorrow, hashtag if you don't have insurance, call the local. What did you say?
Your local
Tom?
county, your county should have resources, or even your state. So there should be some like thing that you can check and just even type in your computer. Um, free mental health.
Thank you.
And
Get
don't let
help.
insurance stop you. Everybody's entitled. You just have to go through your state insurance to get
Right.
signed up. Obama made that happen for us.
Obamacare.
Take advantage of that. Everyone has access to health insurance. Use it.
Diva, can
Listen, guys.
I say,
Yep.
I love your channel so much. In like a matter of months, you became my favorite YouTuber to
Oh.
I love how we have fun, but then we have real conversation. And I've never been on a live before, never even felt like confident enough to even join a live. Never thought anybody would care about my opinion, but
Oh.
Everybody opinion
I just have
matters.
so much fun here, and it's just like this
We
is so great.
appreciate you. We
This is so
appreciate
great.
you. And Diva, thank you so much for opening this panel tonight. I feel like so gracious because of it. Like, because I could totally relate to everything that we talked about tonight. And everybody has their struggles. Everybody's human, but we're not beyond getting help. And it's okay to get therapy. It is okay to open up and get therapy and get professional help. And we need to close this divide, and this is a part of it. Like, we all need to acknowledge where we're at mentally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amen. All right, guys, we're closing out. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow night. Trending
You
topic.
guys.
Love y'all, love y'all, love y'all. And listen, when I finish decorating my tree, I'm gonna show you my tree. But
Okay.
yeah,
Bye. Have a
but
Can't
good
I'll talk
wait.
to
night.
you later.
See you
Bye.
later,
Good night.
tribe.
Oh, listen, I forgot to say this. I meant to say this throughout. 988 is the mental health crisis number. So you could just dial 988. Get help, everybody, and go to therapy. Listen, all of us, I think, on this on the panel right now, been to therapy, and we're good. We're good. We love it. I love therapy. We gotta get a new shirt, right? I love
I
therapy.
love therapy.
I've been shrunk. I've been
Good
shrunk.
night, guys. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Tiffany,
Yes.
call
Call
that.
Me,
for good
Tiffany, if you
news.
need,
Tomorrow, I'm calling
Whoop,
behavioral
whoop.
health,
Oh,
and
and
Tiffany,
I'm
if you
scheduling in
ever
an appointment.
Yeah.
All right. All
Tiffany,
right.
Tiffany,
Bye,
Okay,
guys.
bye
we
bye.
love
Bye.
that
Talk
for
to
you,
you later.
Tiffany. You're talk
Bye.
soon.
Bye bye.